A stunning statement from Republican Congressman Tom Massie after the House Oversight Committee's release of more than 33,000 pages of Jeffrey Epstein documents. He now says they don't ever intend to have any criminal referrals.
There may be some notations from the Oversight Committee when this is done that, oh, this FBI person didn't check this box, or this person acted unethically, or this person got too light of a sentence. But they're not going in and trying to identify who these perpetrators were of these heinous sexual abuse crimes.
I want to bring in a member of the key committee, Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, Democrat from Illinois. It's good to see you back on the program, Congressman. Is Tom Massie right there?
I hope he's not, because I spent, I don't know, 2.5 hours with these survivors yesterday, and it was gut-wrenching, it was emotional, but the one thing they demanded was accountability and transparency with what has happened, and then justice and bringing people to account who, you know, were part of this just horrific sex trafficking ring. And they named a lot of names. They gave additional names of people that are at large, so to speak, who should be held accountable as well for their role.
So I'm wondering if there are specific documents or things that Congress could help to put out there that might help further their story, and more importantly, the call for justice that has been so long delayed.
Yes, I think so, and that's why we need those files. So the survivors and their attorneys actually pointed us to specific documents that are beyond their reach that would be valuable, not just for them personally, because in a lot of cases they don't even have access to the documents about their own individual abuse cases, but also to help us to understand who else should be held accountable. One of the notable sets of files or documents that they think that we should get our hands on are a set of documents from FinCEN and other financial regulators with regard to wire transactions, because as the attorney said, follow the money, because there's hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars that were transacted that help to explain, you know, who is benefiting from this just god-awful scheme.
As I'm sure you know, there are 3 Republican women who have joined Congressman Massie's petition to force that vote on releasing all the files related to the Epstein case. There you see the Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace, who was a sexual assault survivor herself. She was seen leaving yesterday's meeting with the Epstein victims in tears. The White House is now saying anyone who signs on to this will be viewed as hostile to the administration. Just a short time ago, President Trump called all of this a Democratic hoax. I'm wondering, Congressman, have you talked to other Republicans besides them who may be willing to buck the White House on this?
I have. I hope that they come forward and sign the petition. Look, Mr. Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, and Nancy Mace are not notable Democrats. They are Republicans, and in some cases, they are kind of hostile to many Democratic priorities and interests. But in this particular case, I think they're doing the right thing by demanding full transparency. I mean, look, what we heard yesterday was just shocking in terms of the level of detail with regard to the abuses that these women were suffering from. One anecdote I just can't get out of my head. One of the victims or survivors actually said that not only was she suffering the trauma of the abuse that she suffered at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein, but apparently at the time of the trial, she had been called to testify, and one of Jeffrey Epstein's attorneys or affiliates actually called and threatened the safety of her newborn baby. And so this is just the type of stuff that you know, shocks the conscience, and it's got to get us to do something different. And I hope that my Republican colleagues can join us in doing the right thing here and ultimately preventing this type of thing from ever happening again.
I'm being told we're out of time, but I have to take this full circle because I know you went to Harvard Law. You're a lawyer. So are there criminal charges you believe can and ultimately will be filed in this case against people who are still alive?
I don't know. That's why I need to see the files. But based on what the women and their attorneys said yesterday, there's grounds for believing that there are people that should be charged, but I need to see the evidence first.
Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, thank you so much.